Hello, welcome to another tutorial. Today I'll be talking about how to install GitLab on a Droplet. And if you do not know what GitLab is, go ahead and just watch this right here. I will be signing into my GitLab, and GitLab's basically like your own hosted GitHub. GitLab is very nice, and it's it's a very nice, pretty much, it's open source. It's very good. So yeah, I don't know what to say. It's so good. So as you can see, you have all the new stuff, just like GitHub. You can create projects, etc. So in order to get started, we're going to go ahead and go to DigitalOcean and log into our little portal. And I will go ahead and create a, if I can log in here, just give me a second. Now I'm going to go ahead and log in and create a new droplet. I will be using Ubuntu in this case. I'm just going to use the 512. You don't need nothing better to create your thing. So let's go ahead and put a host name of, I'm just going to do tutorial.tjushak.me, and I'll go ahead and just keep New York, Ubuntu. I'll use 12.04 and I'll press create droplet. Droplet will create. Okay, so once you're done setting up your server, you have to go ahead and get your information that you need from your email address, which will include your password. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to log in with PuTTY. So you're going to have to open up PuTTY. You're going to have to use that IP address that you have used. You're going to save that session. I'll just name this one here as tutorial. It makes it easier to get to that. Now some of this stuff we already went over, but I'm going to go over it again because this one here is specific. Yeah, it's just for DigitalOcean and GitLab. So sorry about that. So now we'll go ahead and type in root as our username, and our password is in our email. Copy it, and then right click to paste it. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and I will explain how we will be installing GitLab. So if you head over to gitlab.com, you will see gitlab.org. Sorry about that. You will go ahead and see. Okay, you'll see that we will be installing GitLab. So we're going to go ahead and go to source code and installation instructions. We are then going to go to installation guide for a production server. Okay, so now we can see here we have overview, packages, etc. Now this is very important to notice that I am actually going to be using these commands. How I will be using these, I will select them like so, click and drag from the beginning to the end. I will go control copy. I will then do right click in my VPS and it will paste it in there. Now that makes it a lot easier. Now why I'm doing this is there is a couple instances in this tutorial that is a bit tricky and you do have to follow it a little bit differently. I have installed GitLab on a couple different servers, and each time I've had the same problem, and then I installed it again, corrected it from when I noticed the problem before, and it worked from there on. So I'm basically going to be using their little tutorial, installation tutorial, as a replica basically. Now this should work because you want to make sure that you are using the latest stable, and everything should mostly be the same. If it isn't, I'll come out with a new tutorial, or for upgrades I'll also do a tutorial. So anyways, that's basically how this is working. I'm just going ahead and setting this up how it's supposed to work. I'm using their tutorial, and then I'm collaborating, editing it, and telling ideas that you should do to prevent you from getting a confusion like I did. So I'm going to go ahead and actually pause the tutorial for now because I don't want to burn up time talking through all this jibber-jabbish about updating. If you came to a screen that looks similar to this, go ahead and just press enter. And press enter again. Alright, now that that's complete, we're going to go ahead and set up our Vim, which is a type of editor. And actually, we will go ahead and skip Vim because it should already be installed actually. And there's a better editor that's a little bit more easier to use. So we're going to go ahead and skip down to the required packages, right click and press enter. And we'll go ahead and install all these. We're at 22%, 32, 48, 66, 78, 87, and we are done. So now it's unextracting, unpacking, and installing. So it looks like a bunch of fun. I'll go ahead and pause. Alright, now that that's complete, we're going to have to move on with Python. We're going to install Python by right clicking. And we have found that it is already installed. We're going to make sure that Python version is greater than version 2.5, and it sure is. It's 2.7.3. Most likely, if you're using Ubuntu 12.04 or above, it will already have 2.7.3 on your server. You will not have to go any advanced into PuTTY. Now we're going to have to go ahead and install Postfix. Postfix is a email type of notification on Ubuntu. We're going to have to go down and just press Tab and press Enter. And we are using an internet site, and our system mail name will be tutorial dot whatever you're using. Make sure it's your FDQN or FQDN. And you're going to have to go ahead and press Enter. And now that we're moving on, we're going to just go down, and next thing will be Ruby, as that is installing. And now we're going to go ahead and start with our Ruby installation. Now, Ruby installation can take some time because we have to actually download Ruby and compile it. The thing we just did was actually removing any past dependencies that was on the server. I will go ahead and pause now because it looks like this may take some time. Now that Ruby has been successfully installed, we'll go ahead and install the bundler gem. This is very important. We'll go ahead and fix the sudo unavailable to resolve host thing in a second. Okay, so we're going to go to vi etc hosts. We will then go ahead and press down, and we'll press I. We'll also press 127.0.0.1 space over. We'll then type whatever your FQDN is, and mine is tutorial.tjushak.me. I will press escape and then right click and press enter. Now that that has been installed, we can do sudo true, and you should not see that error. We will now go ahead and set up system users. So we're going to install Git, and this is when my tutorial, or when GitLab's tutorial differs from mine. So we'll go ahead and press paste, right click, and we'll press enter. We will then go ahead and type sudo passwd and then git. We will then type in a password, and then we will go ahead and we'll actually go a little bit of tutorial, and I will go ahead and do su git to log in as that user. I'll then go to cd to get back to the main direction, and I'll type clear so we can just get a nice blank screen. Okay, so now we're going to go to cd home git. We should already actually be there. We'll go ahead and clone GitLab shell. And actually, we got to do one more thing. We got to do su root. We'll go ahead and type the password for root. I got to get that real quick. And we'll go ahead and type sudo add user git and then sudo. And then you go ahead and press enter, and git was added to the sudoers. So then we'll go ahead and type su and then git, so we can get back into the git user. We will then go ahead and get back to my tutorial as following. I didn't do there. There we go. Okay, so we'll go ahead and go here, and we will go ahead and then clone that git shell in there. And we're cloning. Okay, that has been done. We're going to do cd GitLab shell. We're getting into that directory we just cloned, and then we'll switch to the right version, and you can do whatever the latest is. And then we're going to go ahead and copy, and now we're going to edit config.yml, and we're going to go ahead and change the GitLab URL to your to how you want it. So in order for me, I'm just going to do tutorial.tjushak.me. I will then press escape, and don't actually need to do that. You'll just do Control X for exit. You'll type Y and press enter. And now we'll do the setup. And that is good. Now we're going to go ahead and set up the database. Very simple solution to do. We will then go ahead and install a database, just like so. We're going to type in a password for git, and it's installing. Everything should be good to go. You won't have to type Y, and you're going to have to type in the password. And I'm actually going to do just ABC123. ABC123. Okay, I have to write that down so I don't forget, even though it's very simple. is almost done downloading. I'll go ahead and press pause. Actually, no reason. Okay, so let's go ahead and log into MySQL. And the password is ABC123. Now that we're into MySQL, we're going to go ahead and create a user. And we're going to change the password to ABC123 and press enter because I want to just keep the same password throughout. Go ahead and create the database, and then we'll create the second one, which actually goes off the page. So just click and drag over, or you can double click on the row and then just do /q. So now we will go ahead and try our connection and enter our password and press enter, and we are in. And now we can just type /q and exit. Okay, so now that we are done, we'll go ahead and continue with GitLab. So now we'll go to cd home git, and then we'll go ahead and clone the source. And it is cloning the source, and let's get ready for the next part. Okay, so you go ahead and right click, and now we will go ahead and change to the latest, which is 6.0. So just do so. And you actually can use master for the bleeding edge, but that is kind of dangerous at times, so I don't recommend it, but you can, because there can be security vulnerabilities and etc. Okay, so we'll go ahead and continue, and now we're going to go ahead and edit a file, and we will go down into where we see host as localhost. We will go ahead and change that to our fully qualified domain name. We would then do Control X and press Y and press enter. We'll then copy the whole block, right click, enter, and then we will go ahead and create a directory for satellites. And then we'll go ahead and just keep on doing these ones. Pretty simple. Doesn't get much easier than that. Copy our unicorn config. We will not actually configure our unicorn because we do not want to have any more workers, because we actually don't have enough room to be using the workers that we use now. But it will be okay with a standard amount of connections, just like probably about 5 to 10 should be good for that. Okay, we'll go ahead and copy our database config and press enter. We will now go ahead and edit our database config, and we'll go ahead and type in our password. Then press Control X and press Y and press enter. We'll now go ahead and make sure that is readable only, and then we'll start installing our gems. This can take some time. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and do the one for MySQL, since that is the one I am doing, and press enter, and just wait. I'm going to go ahead and alright, so now that's complete, we'll go ahead and initiate the database and activate advanced features. So we'll go ahead and copy and paste that one in there and wait for that one to load, and that one there can also take some time. You'll then make you confronted with this, you'll want to go ahead and press and type yes. And you'll see that the administration account has been created, and that is not really important at this point, but that is the stuff. You can also see down at the bottom tutorial. So now we'll go ahead and do a little bit more. We're going to download the init script so it can start. Oops, my bad. And the init script will make it so when you start your server, it also starts. Alright, so now we'll just make GitLab start on boot. And now we'll go ahead and check the application status. Alright, this shows that it has been successfully configured. Now we'll start a GitLab instance, and now we'll go ahead and double check our application status. Again, this can take a couple seconds. Alright, so now we'll go ahead with the final stretch of our installation. We'll install Ninjix, which is a web server, better than Apache. It does not accept slower attacks. Now we'll go ahead and download our site configuration, and we'll go ahead and finish up with that. And now we'll go ahead and configure. So in order to do that, we're going to go ahead and go down, and where you see your server FQDN, you'll go ahead and type your server FQDN. In my case, mine is tutorial.tjushak.me. So now we'll go ahead and press Control X, and you'll press Y and press Enter. Now that is done, we're going to go ahead and restart Nginx. And now I will go ahead and pause the video while I make sure everything's all correctly set up with my array. Alright, everything has been successfully all set up on my end. We'll now go ahead and go to my FQDN, and we'll type in tutorial.tjushak.me. We will then go ahead and wait a couple seconds here. I might actually need to clear my cache, because this might be cached, I'm not sure. Okay, it's offline still, so we're just going to go ahead and wait a couple seconds. Okay. Finally, okay, everything's completely all set up now. So now we'll go ahead and log in with the administrator account, and that happens to be admin@local.host, and our password is 5, like the number 5, and then IVE, and then capital L, exclamation point, FE. So 5 life, and press enter, and that will go ahead and log you in. And now that you'll see that you are confronted with, you want to change your password, and that is fine. Go ahead and change your password, press set new password, and then go ahead and sign in with root or the admin@local.host and your password. And that has been a complete installation of GitLab on your server, and that's it for now, and stay tuned.